Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Door Shutter coming back to you with a brand new episode of Craftoria, and I apologize if my voice kind of sounds a little rough, especially in the last episode as well, because doing this talking, for some reason, is really hurting my throat this last few days. I think I'm coming down with something, but we're gonna try and power through this. So I want to kind of half finish this electric quarry system because I need to be able to break down these ores and get them back into our either AE2 system, which is kind of being able to feed a lot of this stuff, and or just straight up push this into the actual places we need it ahead of time. I'm not really caring which. Either or will be okay. So I probably need to grab some placer modules real quick. There we go. So I probably will need to get more modular routers, but for right now, I think we're golden. I've got 2 breaker modules with efficiency 5 and fortune 6, and this is a little bit less than my pickaxe, but I think this should be sufficient for things like the ores, the coal. I think the redstone and the tungsten. Actually, no, not even tungsten. I think tungsten's fine. I just can't process it. I have to process it differently. Let's see. So yeah, we should be good to basically break everything in this chest besides redstone. Okay. So I'm going to put down a couple things here. So 2 modular routers. Actually, I guess I should put them like so, and then have the breaker modules here. And then I think once they break, they will actually just drop the items in the world. I think that's how that works, isn't it? Let's try that. No, okay, it'll pick it up. So we need to be able to basically pull out of this as quickly as possible. So I'm not going to rely on a sender module. I'm going to rely on a pipe for each one of these here. So pipe, and then we will do like a barrel for the end process stuff. So let's go for spruce. There we go. And then we'll just plop that down. And let's grab a couple pipe upgrades here. So we're going to do 2 basic, 2 improved, and then 2 advanced. Okay. Pipe wrench. There we go. And that should be golden. That should pull out fast enough for us at the end of the day. All right, so the next portion, we're going to then just do... Actually, I'm going to disconnect and then grab another pipe upgrade. Let's see. Probably just grab a handful. Just a couple. Nothing too extreme. Okay. Reattach, and then let's do round robin. We also want to make sure we're excluding redstone, right? So we want to go there. So I just shift clicked in, and then we're just going to blacklist redstone, and then I think everything else. I think even that, right? I don't think there's any loss if I do this. Okay. Because redstone, of course, if you don't remember, we're going to be using this method here, mechanical squeezer, because this will result in the most redstone possible. And I think we should be good. So let's get this place down. Let's press C out the front, and then let's get the placer module, place it out the front, place it out the front, and let's grab some speed. Let's actually auto-craft these real quick. I think I should have everything else. Maybe the gunpowder is the only thing. So let's grab 18. Let's grab another 18. I don't know if this will actually speed this up, but I'm kind of curious. It will. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I need something to pick up the XP, but I also need block, break place, and let's grab, what do we have? Experience. We have the experience holder, but I don't actually have the ability to pick that up. Oh, hold on. Okay, hold up. I'm going to turn this on high real quick. Okay, so I am picking up a whole bunch of stuff because this is not fast enough. So we're going to have to do So we're going to have to reevaluate that amount of speed upgrades. So let's try 4. Let's grab some stack upgrades. And most likely, I'll probably attach an ender chest. Well, actually, I probably want to make a whole new ore processing system down here for each individual type of ore. I think that's probably a better option. That will be extreme, but I think that'll be sufficient enough to hold basically everything for a decent amount of time. Let's go gold to diamond. And then we should be able to actually upgrade this to netherite. Just like so. Okay. So let's give that another go. Let's activate. Activate. Okay, so that's definitely not that quick. So let's try 5. Are we overflowing it? Doesn't look like it. Looks like we're actually keeping up with that. So can I push it to 1 more? It looks like I may be able to. So let's push it to 7. Looks like we're able to hold there. So I will keep that as our like last bit of speed upgrade. So that should process a lot of the ores. And you can see that that's actually pretty decently quick with just 2 of them. And we are getting quite a bit of return out of this. Let's see. So we have, for example, 56 emerald ore. I just kind of want to look. So once we get this processed, this is the last bit of copper. We'll see how many emeralds. So 56. I'm going to write that down real quick. I don't think this should take long to process at all. There we go. Okay, so we are almost done with emeralds. So we ended with 236. So that was about 4.21 timesing of the emeralds. So that's not terrible. And of course, once we get higher up in fortune, maybe we could do more. But honestly, I think fortune 6 is going to be enough. Of course, we're not like 6 timesing it. We could like just get into occultism and make this even more overpowered. But I think I'm okay with just doing this. And I think actually, technically, occultism would go here, right? It wouldn't actually process the ores itself. So this would actually be, yeah, we could technically put occultism right after this and process it even further. But we're not going to do that. I think this is going to be enough resources indefinitely to not really need to do that. Okay, so I think, man, I really want to do ore doubling. Not really ore tripling or anything. We could look at it, but I don't think we have enough to even consider doing more than ore doubling at this point. So let me get going on the ore doubling system. I don't even know where I want to put this because I kind of put this in a really weird spot. I think we could just do lines down this way. Or like an ender chest. Yeah, we could just do an ender chest. We can do an ender chest. We can just put like the ender chest. Let's see. Let's actually just do that. Ender chest. And I apologize. I'm kind of talking out loud a little bit more than I usually do for these episodes. So I'm kind of trying to come up with plans as we progress in a sense. So that is something that is happening. And that's why I'm kind of like, oh, I could do this, but then I'm going to do it this completely other way. It's because I'm kind of just talking through it a little bit. That's how I come up with a lot of the ideas and things of how I actually make a lot of these systems. It's like, would this be a good idea? You know, why would this be a bad idea kind of thing? And it works out a lot of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I miss like a crucial detail. But hey, you can't think of every possible scenario in life. Sometimes you just got to send it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just don't send it off a cliff. That's all I got to say. All right. Pipes. We have the advanced pipe upgrade. So we should then be able to place down this ender chest. And this should fill up. Actually, that's going to be a problem. Hold on. I didn't think about that. Let me... So I've got to take all of the raw variations, right? Not the bauxite. And I can't take antimony. I will have to make a separate system, a different system than mechanism with antimony, because antimony cannot be processed through mechanism properly. Or through the ore doubling, it looks like. I can only do the enrichment chamber. So I would probably just send this through the actual macerator from modern industrialization rather. And I think that should be good. Okay, so let's go 10 iron, gold, copper. And I think that's all we get from this so far, right? Do we have any other ores? We do, but it's gonna take a second to get those ores. We have quartz ore. Interesting. What can we do with that? 1 to 6? Okay, so we're probably gonna want to experiment a little bit with this quartz ore. Because that is definitely different. Looks like lapis lazuli. Okay, so I think 10 and silver and osmium and nickel. So we've got a few more ores coming down the pipeline, but not a whole lot. All right, so let's get these set as whitelist. And we're going to put this back down, and we're going to take out the bauxite. Put that back in here, because that's going to have to be processed in another way as well. Okay, so now we're actually going to go over here to the other side of the warehouse, and we're going to get this started here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab some functional storage drawers rather than doing this more complicated. This will be able to give us more lines and everything. Okay. So 4 drawers for now is fantastic. So we're going to do, let's see, I want to probably keep the center clear. So we'll do 1, 1, 1, 1. And maybe we raise them up by 1 as well. Just like so. Okay. And then we're going to put in the ores and then lock the drawers. So we'll do 10 iron, gold, copper. And then lock. And then we're going to grab a storage controller. Perfect. I've already got one. And we will put this under the chest. I think that sounds good, just so that way we're able to get it out of the way more than anything. There we go. And of course, we'll probably want to grab some sort of pipe upgrade to make this go quicker. Okay. So then let's make sure we're set to add. And I might want to move this over. I think we're too close, right? Because we said we had like several other ores. I mean, realistically, we could actually squeeze more into the center here. We don't have to have things gapped like this with mechanism. So realistically, once we get the more ores, we could probably fill in the in-between. So like, just like so. We just have to make sure our pipes and everything, which we could just use modern industrialization or something if we need to make pipes different color and things. So, I'm not too afraid. Okay, man, there's so much XP. Oh, we are having stuff spray everywhere. So it looks like with like certain ore types, we're actually having problems. Because like lapis is too much to go into here, it looks like. Okay. All right, let me start working on the ore doubling portion of this, because that is repetitive. You guys have seen me do ore doubling, I think, in one of the previous episodes, and I'm not going to worry about doing it again, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I've just finished up the ore doubling area here. A whole bunch of power, entangled blocks even. These, by the way, aren't that expensive, just some ender pearls I can get back if I need to. I probably don't have a whole lot left after making 7 of these, but overall, it's going to be worth it. These do require what is called an entangled binder, I do believe. Let's see, entangled. If I can type, there we go. Yes, the entangled binder, which is a couple more ender pearls, but overall, they're very, very nifty because they allow for me to power these machines that we have up here, which is, let me just break this block here real quick. This electrolytic separator, and actually show you how this is bound real fast. So if I shift right click on a block, it'll highlight yellow. And then all I got to do is with an entangled block placed down, I can just right click and it'll bind the block. You see it says block bound down here by my XP bar and armor bar and all of that, which means that we are now good to go. That way I can actually feed power and everything to it. So as you can see, everything's kind of running full steam ahead, and that is fantastic. So I am going to actually use this wireless connector here to connect this chest. So we're going to quickly grab an import bus and a Fluix cable, and that will allow for us to pull all of the ingots and everything that we're making off of this into our system, which will be fantastic, right? There we go. Okay. And that will overall just benefit us greatly, because now we've got some sort of ore processing going. Of course, we're still not finalized over there, but this is cruising. This is going. And yeah, this is definitely going to be good stuff. I could make it to where we use this ender chest for all raw ores rather than just having the other ones at the base, but I'll probably keep the other doubling systems at the base just in case we need them in the future. All right, so moving on. That now means that we should be good enough to probably get the bronze drills and everything going. We'll worry about the redstone later. So to do bronze drills, we are going to need a few things, right? We're going to need... I'm actually going to grab these here real quick and toss these in here. We're going to need to do the bronze drill head first, which we're going to do this recipe. So while we're in the assembler page, if we just hit the A button, you can see over here that this turns to an assembler recipe that we can view. This will be very, very easy. So we need to do bronze plates. We need to do bronze plates to bronze curved plates, or bent plates is what they're called, aren't they? No, bronze curved plates. Okay. And then we need to do bronze ingots to bronze rods, and that will require some lubricant. And then we need to do gears. Okay. And then gears are what exactly? They are plates and rings. So we're going to need to do some shenanigans there. So let me get these machines kind of started here. Let's see. I have lubricant making over here. So what if I converted this to... Actually, I should just be able to grab an ender tank here, right? Maybe. Let's grab some yellow dye. So I'm just going to dye this yellow, 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 and then white in the center. So I may be able to do that, but this should still pull out of this. We're going to get this started here, so I do need to start with kind of the basics of getting probably item pipes, because we do need those and fluid pipes for the actual crafting of the drill portion. So I think I'm going to work on that first, and then we'll kind of go to the gears, both iron and also the bronze. So let's start with that. So I'm over here by the analog circuit end, and I think we can get started here by just getting the electric machine down. We're going to want to grab an interface, because of course we're going to want to pull the material from our AE2 system. So we're going to grab that, and we're going to grab the Fluix cable. And that is just going to come down this line here. Perfect. Oop, not where I meant to put it. Let me turn my magnet back on there. Okay. So we are then also going to want, or we're going to need the advanced machine hulls. I keep forgetting about these. I'm going to just let those craft while we mess with this stuff here. So this will be for the copper blade that's inside of the item pipes here. Let me actually bookmark the right one that we actually need. So there's that one, and then there is this one. So we need bronze curved plates and steel gears for this one, and we need copper rotors and glass panes and bronze curved plates for this one. And the assembler recipe is not different. We get the exact same amount, but this will be how we're actually going to craft them at the end of the day anyway. All right, so let's also make sure that our electrum pipe here connects to the back. And let's grab some laser IO stuff. We are going to be using a lot of laser IO just to make sure that we are... Actually, well, I guess it's not really that necessary for this one, but we're going to be moving this piece around to other portions, so we may as well. Let's see. Card. I've already got my card holder on me. All right, so on the back direction, we're going to be just pulling out of this. And let's just say, let's get 16 of these. So pull out at a better speed, or a better quantity. And then on the down direction, we're going to do a filter of iron ingots. Right? Is that what we need? No, not iron ingots. This is the cutting machine. So we're actually going to be doing copper. I have to remember what we're doing here. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Copper ingot. So this will be proper once we get this in here. Not 4. I was trying to type 64. Here we go. And then we need lubricant, which we are just going to provide by doing that. On the up direction, we are going to need some fluid cards. I wish I could see them. There we go. Okay. So up, extract, 5,000, that's perfect. And then down, insert fluid. Okay. So that will get that kick-started. And that means now we are making the copper rods, which is going to kickstart this as well, because this is where our actual fluid is coming from to maintain this tank. So just keep that in mind. If this actually falters, then we're probably going to need to do something else. We may make a bigger lubricant system somewhere else. Why are we not getting redstone? Probably because I have changed the color of the item card. Change that back to white. There we go. Okay. So that should be good. Now we've got the copper rods. What we're going to need to do next is, of course, get the copper curved plates. So let's go copper. We need the bending machine. Bending. Let's go compressor. So we need the compressor and we need the bending machine, right? Bending machine. Looks like I made a little too many of those, but that's okay. All right, so compressor and the bending machine, which is going to go right here because, of course, we're going to go from the copper to copper plates to the actual bending plate. So I actually need to make sure that we set that proper before we set this down. And then that will be good as I do that. There we go. Okay. We will then need to make sure we get in another advanced machine hull. So I will probably need to power these guys later down the line, which is fine. And then we'll make sure everything runs after that fact. So then, of course, laser node, the top. So we've got the rods, we've got the plates, and then we'd want to grab an assembler. Actually, yeah, let's do an assembler, which I do not have crafted. Man, I have got, what is that, 5? 5 of them just waiting for me. Man, that is so stupid. I'm just going to keep pointing it out because I think it's absolutely ridiculous, but also very funny. Every time I go outside, I just get swarmed. It is hilarious to me. Okay. And I guess while we're waiting here, we could grab an item pipe to get the copper ran down here as well. Let's see, can I... There we go. So output, blacklist, and then we can then do... let's just snag a stack of copper here. There we go. So that is now filtered to do copper. So that should kickstart And we can also lock the recipe. Shift click on this, by the way, not just click on it. So, oop. See, I just messed up. There we go. Where is the recipe here? Let's just unlock it for a second. And then relock. There we go. Okay. That was my bad. I didn't mean to do that. So yes, we're waiting on the assembler. So after the assembler, we will just kind of jump this here. So we're going to want to put the functional storage drawer here, and the assembler will go here. And let's kind of just work out the logic here, right? We're going to need to do a different channel here, but that's okay. Let me grab some more item cards, I guess, as well, because I'm going to need them for a second. So the extraction, so in the down direction here, we're going to extract on channel 1. And then here, we're going to do the exact same thing. Extract on channel 1. Did I make sure that was an extraction? I did not. Let's also do 2 overclocks. I don't think we need any more. Okay. Did I pull one out of this accidentally? I did. Okay. So the insert will be on the down direction on that same channel. Okay. And then that will go into the assembler. We probably want to make sure that we are sending specific number as well, because we don't want to overflow this with one or the other. So bending, bent, or curved, goodness gracious, curved copper plates. We want to say we probably want 2 stacks in here. So how we're going to set these, by the way, is by pressing Control or holding Control and clicking. Left click increases, right click decreases. Shift increases by 10 with left and right click, of course. Normal click does a quantity of 1. And so yeah, we can quickly just make sure we set this to 129 and then -1. There we go. Perfect. And then we're going to go copper rod. And we're going to make sure that we set this to 64. I also saw that our assembler is done crafting, so that is beautiful. Let's also grab the laser wrench and make sure that we are actually putting this in the proper place. So that should kickstart this back off, because yes, it did pull all the copper rods. Perfect. And of course, now we're just kind of waiting for these advanced machine hulls to complete. These are going to take a minute because they are crafting up a lot of aluminum. Yeah, aluminum will be something we'll have to deal with sooner or later. But yes, so this system should, in theory, work. And we also wanted to make sure with this assembler that we set the auto eject on that right side. Okay. But that should be the copper blades, right? This is not all of it. This is just the copper blade. The copper blade is then going to have to go into another assembler with a copper ring. Let's actually not put the drawer here then. Let's continue on with this. If this is not the entire piece, let's make one more assembler. We're going to need to do the copper ring, which is copper rods in a bending machine. So I actually do have another bending machine, but I think the way I wanted to do this one is the exact same way we've kind of done this, where we do the bending machine at the second portion. So I'm going to need a cutting machine. And we're going to have to do this one a little bit different than this one, because I'm going to have to put fluid in this. We actually could do it in the floor if we wanted to do that. Could I actually... Let me see. Let me grab another ender tank. Okay. Another ender tank. And this is yellow on the ends, and then white in the center. And of course, this just pulled a piece of brown dye, or brown wool out of the system, so now it's all brown. So we will get that changed real quick. Yellow dye. Actually, why would I need a second one of these? I could just do a laser node. Nah. I could just do a laser node here with the fluid card. I don't really need a second one. I mean, I will need to down the line, so I'm not really worried about wasting materials, but for right now, we could just do that, and that would fill this up. And then we would just push the items from here to here with the bending machine. I think that'll work. But yeah, let's quickly get this configured so I have another lubricant one, because I'll need it anyway. Okay. That's going to also be another advanced machine hull, which we will get later down the line. Because we're still waiting on aluminum. I think we're waiting on what, like 40 pieces? 30 pieces as of current, 33 in total. So that's going to take a hot minute. I probably need to get a requester down with aluminum in it, but that'll be fine. Okay, so we should then just need to connect this to here, and that should fill this with lubricant. And then now all we're going to need to do is get the copper ring, which is what this would produce, and then we can put an assembler back down right here. And that would be the final output where we put the functional storage drawer, because that would give us the copper rotor. And it looks like I actually do need the soldering alloy, so let's actually grab that ender tank. Do I have that ender tank? Yes. So that one we'll put here. And we will do that. Let's actually quickly go to Laser IO. Fluid cards and just teach our system these, because it looks like we're going to be using these a little bit more as we progress further into these recipes. So let's just grab that. Okay, let's grab like 4 of them. So I'm going to turn the card holder off for a second so I can actually configure these outside of the machine. So we're going to want to do channel 1, channel 1. Go back to the first, we're going to do extract, and then we're going to do that. Should be good, actually. So there, and then there. That should fill us with soldering alloy. And then now all we need to do is get this configured properly. Okay. We're going to need some more item cards. Let's just grab like 8. Let's turn this back on. And let's grab a handful more overclocks as well. Okay. So we're going to be doing basically this whole system independently, really, right? Like in a sense. So we're going to need to change the channels and everything. So we're going to need to go to channel 3, which is channel 2 in this case, which is the purple. Because remember, this is channel 1. So when I say 3, I mean 2. Yeah, it's just I kind of forget how these are actually set up. So on the down direction, we're going to do extract. And on the up direction, we're going to do insert. And that will get the electric bending machine taken care of. So now what we need to do is go to channel 3 or channel 4, whichever one you want to say. So channel 3, we're going to do extract. On this module, we're going to do a counting filter with the rotor blades, the copper blades. And yes, we'll do 4, I think, right? That sounds... Is that good? Actually, no, let's just do 64. We'll say 64. And then the ring. Ring... What is it called? Copper ring? I had to think of the name of it for a second. And, of course, we will do... Man, I hate the fact that I can do sorting while I'm inside of the item card. Okay, I accidentally do that every so often. Alright, so that was... I mean, if we were having multiplicatives of 4, we'd probably want to do just 16 of these rather than 64. That makes sense, right? Because you're basically doing 4 rotors, or 4 copper blades, I keep saying rotors, per ring. And it looks like we do get 4 per, though. So every crafting operation. This should be equal, then. Okay. So that should be good. So now we're going to do down, insert, and then up, extract. And that will get us the copper rings. And then here, we're going to need to do the exact same thing. So we just chose channel 3. So channel blue, this one here. We're going to do extract, and we're going to do some overclockers. Did I do overclockers on this other one? I may have not. There we go. Okay. So on the down direction, we're going to then do the item card of extraction. And that will all go down to this assembler once we get the advanced machine hulls. So the recipe that we were doing here, right, is the copper blades. Is that the right? I think I put the wrong machine here, actually. Because this should be a packer, not an assembler. I forgot. This is going to be a special case, because you can't actually make these with an assembler, it looked like. You may be able to, but it just doesn't say it in JEI, so I'm just going to stick with what JEI is telling me, and we're going to swap it to that. Okay, so there is the copper rods, and now we're just going to wait on the bending machine. Once we get the advanced machine hulls, we should be off to the races, right? And did I make sure? No, I did not. Okay. So it looks like we do have one assembler left over, and that should be good. All right. So with this, let's make sure we lock down this recipe. Let's go here as well and make sure we lock down the recipe, which this is the copper rod. And then this was the copper ring using the bending machine. I guess we also technically could use a compressor. So that's the only difference that I notice is the time it takes per operation. So your bending machine just kind of cuts down your time, and I do like that. That's pretty nice. And then, of course, here we're going to be doing the copper rotors right there. Okay? So that will be the first component with the item, or the fluid pipes. Not the item pipes, the fluid pipes. And then, of course, then we're going to need to just get copper curved plates and glass panes, which we will request from the system, most likely. All right, so yeah, I think we'll pull that from the system, and that will get us towards the fluid pipes. And then, of course, I think next episode we'll work on the item pipes, which is not going to be that difficult. We just need to do steel gears. So you guys can kind of see why I didn't cover this module. This module, even being small, is a little bit complicated. It's not too bad. It's kind of just sending items from point A to point B, or, you know, A to B to C, or, you know, anything of that sort. So yeah, definitely not terrible. I think we did some pretty good progress this episode. I think we're doing pretty darn decent. Look at all that coal. That is some nice stuff to see. We're all getting all that coal. And the thing is with this coal, so that's actually what's powering a lot of this downstairs, by the way, is this lignite coal. I've been just using this because I didn't see any other purpose for lignite coal that I could, like, immediately see. Maybe I missed it. But yeah, I just don't see any real use. It looks like we could get coal dust from a centrifuge by 27 to 10. Yeah, I don't know about that one. So I've just kind of been using it as fuel. And if I'm wrong about it, oh well, I can get more. But I've just been throwing whole stacks of blocks of lignite coal into this advanced large steam boiler and keeping all of this pretty powered up. I've also placed down a absorption hopper here. So every so often we will have stuff flow into it. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap this one up here. This has been an enjoyable one. I do apologize for doing quite a bit of stuff off camera, but I think it saves me a lot of time to just be able to say, hey, I'm going to do this off camera, make things a little bit simpler, and overall just make these episodes a little bit more enjoyable because I'm not just spending several minutes just banging my head against the wall. You know, so I think we're good. I think we are. And that's all 4 advanced machine frames. How many did I craft? I think I crafted 8. Yes. So we got 4 of them. And that should actually kickstart everything. We may need to run pipes properly, though. There we go. Which, Okay, so, yeah. Putting those in there, this is gonna start... Oh, looks like I actually need one more, because I forgot about this machine here. And then we need to run pipes up here. There we go. So now we also need to get copper. We need copper here. Not really any place else. So that should be good once we get the copper in the whitelist. And that should be off to the races. So now we should be seeing copper rotors any second here. We are not outputting. Output. Oh, hold on. I must have forgotten to do one thing before we wrap this up. That. That is what I've forgotten. So now we are making copper rotors. That is perfect. Also, how are we doing with like certain types of ore? 10. We're 18,000 lead, 36,000 iron. We are 4,000 gold. We are doing 10,000 copper, 47,000. So not too terrible. Not too great, but not too terrible. I think we still have plenty of stuff to kind of get processed. But yeah, you can see we're flat moving. And then, of course, once this hits 2,000, everything will kind of shut down. And all these other systems will shut down as well. So that will be perfect. Okay. How are we doing on, like, redstone? I know we're using that as well with the lubricant. So I'm going to actually step away from this area. And go quickly put this in our mechanical squeezer that we have over here. Let's grab a barrel. That way we can actually get the redstone and everything started as well. Yeah. All right. But with that, I think we're going to wrap up now. I think that is a good stopping point. I am having an absolute blast getting this going. This is fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.